make the strings.
All right, guys, we are back at the shop, and we are gonna start tearing this thing all down today. So, Ty, you?
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. So Ty's not gonna head out. He was thinking about it though. He's been talking about
Labor Day weekend. I've seen all the memes, you know.
All the
get ready for a good time.
Yeah. So yeah, as you guys know, I am painting the Boostedboiz MR2 in exchange for a roll cage in the LAMBO KILLER Civic. I've been kind of looking over this thing, trying to kind of decide the game plan. There's not really much to do other than just start taking stuff apart. But what I did, just for funnies, is I did a little. I started polishing this quarter panel just a little bit, just to see kind of how this paint looks. And I really do like that red. Like, seeing it all faded, it doesn't look good, but seeing it like that, like that's a nice pretty red. So he told me that he did want to keep it red, and he didn't really care if we changed the variation of the color, if we went, I guess, lighter or darker, like a pearl or something like that. He basically said same exact color, unless I thought it would be cool to change it. Yeah, I was just seeing how nice it looks. Yeah, I think other than that, we're just gonna throw it on the lift. We're gonna start pull the wheels and tires, the fender liners, and then yank the bumpers, mirrors, headlights, tail lights, obviously all that type of stuff off of it. Probably door handles, door panels, get these like top little trim pieces and everything out, and then we'll actually start sanding it. So you can see a couple little dings and stuff right here. I'm trying to use that light to show you guys some of the little dings and stuff up there, but they're really light, so this quarter panel should go pretty quick. A little weird, so like up here on these bumpers, you can see there's like those stress cracks where it's kind of been like compressed and cracks the paint. This thing behind the license plate, and we actually might just fill up these holes, just so actually delete the whole license plate thing. And then like little scratches and stuff like that. Bunch of little things like rock chips down here on the edges where you can see they kind of go down to the paint. We'll feather all that type of stuff out. Yeah, so one of the things that I learned when we were in Texas at Dallas Performance was to actually get a little bit more organized. And one of the things I really liked when they were tearing down the R8 engine is they actually had one of these rolly carts, rolly shelves, where we put like basically all the engine pieces. So I'm kind of doing that for this build. Or taking this thing apart. So when we take everything off here, we'll just throw it on the shelf. And then I had this little thing for bumpers. It's basically the same thing that I have right there, but a shorter version. And we went ahead and just put some clamps on it so we could actually throw the bumpers and stuff on here and get those up out of the way, so they're not kind of laying around on everything else getting messed up. And then when we are ready to work on them, we could throw them on a stand. Yeah, Ty, you excited for this? You ready?
Load it up, bud. Let's go. Let's get it.
So we're getting right into things. Well, actually, Brandon's getting right into things. This guy is a freaking madman with the body filler. So he was over here watching us kind of pressure wash it, and he couldn't handle it. He just had to hop in. So he's like the wizard at body filler. I've never seen anybody like be able to body work a car so quick. So yeah, me and Ty are back here yanking off all the wing pieces, trying to get the taillights out. This car is really like, it's not bad, but it's just confusing. Like these do the taillights just clip in? Like, do they literally just pop in? So it has...
There's three screws pretty much holding it together.
So it has these little clip-in bars. So it literally just snaps in. Kind of the same thing with the wing. There was this weird little clip right there. I was looking up underneath there and I was scared to pull on it because I was afraid we were gonna break it. But yeah, I got all that stuff off. So Brandon, what you seen him doing initially was kind of using the factory paint on this thing to actually use it as kind of like a primer to kind of sand it down and see the highs and the lows. So if you could kind of pay attention when he first started, there was little shiny spots. So like if you were to block this right here, the inside of that dent over there would basically be shiny because the sandpaper hadn't touched it. So then kind of goes in, gives it like a little crisscross, kind of like a bullseye, so he knows where to put the filler. And this is the icing. So this is the real thin coat. It goes on real smooth. It doesn't have any like pinholes and stuff in it. And we're gonna block this thing with 80 grit. I'm trying to stay away from using like 36 grit or anything really super aggressive on this paint because that's kind of how you get that shrink back a little bit later on. Whereas hitting this stuff with the 80 grit, that's a pretty mild scratch. So the primer should be able to kind of shrink into that pretty decent. How many bolts do you think are on this bumper?
Well, when I was watching Roman and Kyle do it on the white one, there's like 12 on the fender liner, like bolt to it.
Yeah.
So you gotta take all that out, and then there's like 8 underneath, and then like all these on top. So there's a lot.
So we'll probably actually throw it on the lift.
Yeah.
To start doing all that type of stuff. It's kind of just piecing together a lot of little things. We'll go ahead and open the doors, pull off the mirrors, and a lot of this little trim stuff. So that way we could actually, I don't really think the doors are that bad. There's one little dent that I've seen on the bottom, but yeah, this thing's shaping up. Well, it's gonna. we're getting ready to call it a night here at the shop, and I'm just kind of, I have a question for you guys, so you're gonna have to let me know in the comments below. How is it to actually watch a video that's in focus? What do you think?
Adam's kidding.
Adam's videos. G7X. We got a lot of stuff done on this thing today. It doesn't, I guess, look like it, but there's so many bolts and random little weird things on this thing to actually take it apart. Like right in here, in order to get this little side panel off, there's a bolt or a nut on the inside right there. There's one down here on the bottom, and then this is just a little clip, but in order to get in here, you actually have to pull that little interior piece out, pop off the seatbelt bracket, and then stick like an extension in there and actually kind of loosen this little 10 mil thing. So kind of today was a whole process of like learning and Googling a bunch of stuff of like how to pull off SW20 rear bumper, side spat, front bumper and stuff. We're kind of getting to that stage to where everything, now we could really start diving into the bodywork and going hard on this thing. As you can see, wing and everything is all off it, got all the emblems, kind of got started on the bodywork and stuff here today. Yeah, so there's one little dent kind of down here. I should pretty much have all the bodywork and everything squared away tomorrow. That's
it's a lot of little prep to get it so we can just work on it. But.
Yeah, just so we could actually start sanding on it and stuff. And I mean, technically, if you really wanted to, you could go around this thing with a Scotch-Brite and mask absolutely everything off and do a, like a rape and tape paint job on it, like a Mako job. Like, they're like $400 special type of thing. But yeah, we're actually taking this thing down pretty decent. One of the things that I was kind of a little bit bummed about is down here. There doesn't look like there's any rust that actually went through the fender, but that whole thing was just full of dirt basically all the way up. So there's a little bit of surface rust down there, so we'll have to pull off the fender, kind of wire wheel it, put some rust performer and stuff on it to kind of convert that stuff back over. And I think that's about it. I really like the shelf though. I mean, if we didn't actually have the shelf, like imagine just all these parts being completely disorganized. And we kind of tried to keep them like
by like section.
Yeah, by section too. So this is kind of, like the wing and the tail lights and stuff, and then this is kind of the door panel stuff. This little bumper thing on the side actually works really nice. I'm really stoked on that whole process. So Dallas Performance, they already kind of molded me. So I don't know. I feel like I need to ramble and say a bunch of stuff, but I guess that's it. Primer is coming soon. Probably have in primer probably the next video, do a lot of body work, get this thing in primer, let it sit up a couple days. But yeah, if there's any specific questions you guys have about paint, body work, all that type of stuff, leave them in the comments below, and maybe I'll try to go over the whole thing. If you guys haven't seen my video of the 10-minute like time lapse of the super restoration, that thing is just, I hope it's on the trending page by now, but it's probably, right now it's at like 700,000 views, which is just insane because I uploaded it about 50 hours ago, which is just insane. So if you guys have watched that video or came over here from that video or the Boostedboiz, I really appreciate it. And I don't know, I think there is something still kind of a little bit weird about my subscribe button, but if you guys want to try it out and see if it works, just let me know. Notification bell too, I think that one it was kind of doing some weird stuff too. But I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.